citizens. Israel should use its influence to persuade U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to adopt moderate policies regarding nuclear weaponry. At least that's the view of top nuclear expert Jayantha Dhanapala from Sri Lanka. ILTV's Steve Leibowitz spoke to Dhanapala in London on the sidelines of the Luxembourg Forum in Preventing Nuclear Catastrophe to learn more.
We all know that Israel is a de facto nuclear weapon possessing state, and with nuclear weapon possession goes a certain responsibility, and I'm sure that Israel is very conscious of that. We are having a new president in the most powerful country in the world, the sole surviving superpower, who together with the Russian Federation possess 93% of the total nuclear weapons in the world. And therefore I think there is a moral responsibility on the part of Israel, with whom I think Mr. Donald Trump does have a very good relationship, to try to influence Mr. Trump in policies of moderation and stability. It is in everybody's interest to do that. And I think encouraging him into adventurism would be very, very dangerous. And it is contrary to the national interests of Israel. It is not for me to lecture the Israeli leaders on what their national interests should be, but as a dispassionate observer of the international scene for a very long time, who has a lot of sympathy with the state of Israel and the right of Israel to exist, but not with its nuclear weapon possession, whatever the reasons for that may be. So I believe that these are very testing times for all of us. And I believe the role we can all play in achieving a common security, a cooperative security, I think is very, very compelling. And my knowledge of the Israeli nation, they are a richly endowed country with intellectual resources, with foresight and with great wisdom going back to the ancient past. I think there is a role that they can play in this new administration of the United States.
It's no secret that our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, strongly lobbied against the Iran nuclear deal. It's also no secret that Donald Trump campaigned saying that the nuclear deal was the worst deal ever made in history and it had to be thrown out. Do you expect that Israel can play a role in kind of not pushing for Trump to fulfill that campaign promise?
I hope indeed that they do, because there is an expression in the United States that you campaign in poetry and you rule and govern in prose. So the rhetoric of election campaigns is very different from the sober reality that dawns on politicians when they assume power. And my hope is that, as indeed is happening all the time, President-elect Trump is saying things very differently from what he said on the campaign trail.
Every year, almost 120,000 young people in Israel become eligible to serve in the Israeli